Good afternoon, it is Wednesday, it's 8 PM, it's UK time. This is me, Elliot Upton, this is the UP Fitness live feed that you all tune into every single week. Here to answer your questions, talk about any new announcements. Deb, straight in there, quick as hell. It's like you were almost waiting for it. Any announcements going on with UP, the liveUP program is the best fat loss personal training program on the planet, obviously. All of our one-to-one training products and our new gyms popping up all over the place. Loads of you coming in, plenty of you already from liveUP, so I'm glad to see the team in here. Make sure you are telling everybody out there exactly what's going on. As always, we're filming this for YouTube. It's going to be right there, so if you're watching this now when I'm pointing at you, you can ask your questions in the comments box below. I will put the link in the description box to everything I mentioned here if you want to go via the website, look at our personal training packages, supplements, anything else that goes on. What's up, Matt? But don't be afraid to ask your questions. I will always try and get back to you as soon as possible, answering any questions and queries you have on the video. But of course, try and join us live because it's good fun. Loads of you coming in. There are no real new announcements with UP at the moment. As some of you may see, Mr. Nick Mitchell is in Barbados getting some treatments at the moment, but he's still working flat out. And we do have some new gyms coming around. Some of you who follow all of the UP team may have an inkling as to where these new gyms are popping up. A few senior members of the UP team have been traveling around certain parts of the United States. So bonus points to anyone there who can tell me where they have been and who it was. Christina Gibson, fantastic program. Best thing I've done for my body in a very long time was to sign up for liveUP. Thank you, Elliot. You're welcome, Christina, and thank you for doing it. And what's that, like 2 weeks now? Or are you coming into, no, you're coming into your end of your third week, aren't you? So that's nice and quick. I love that. So far, guys, the liveUP program, to break it down what it is a pre-made program, £50 per month. You get to be coached by me personally. The program is pre-made, but we adjust it to you as you go along. Each Monday, you get a check-in day. It's all run through an online forum. It's getting phenomenal results across the board. So far, touch wood, it stays that way. We have a 5-star rating and review across the board for that. So we're gonna keep that up. We're gonna make sure everything that we deliver to you, the video content that I put there, the programs, the results are all absolutely immaculate. They are flawless. So get on that, check that out. You can hit the link in the description if you're on YouTube, or you can hit the link in our bio and go to the liveUP programs over there. Obviously, if you want something slightly more customized, you can of course go to the one-to-one online personal training as well. So go and check them out. Remember as well, 3 weeks. Yeah, there we go. Thought so. 3 weeks. See how good my memory is. I'm not getting old just yet. Actually, I am on the way. Supplement wise, again, everything can be got through the upfitness.com website. So if you have any questions on that, do feel free to ask me about the supplements you're taking, what's worth it, what isn't, and of course, making sure you are always getting quality. One note I always put on the supplements that we talk about here is that it's very, very important not to try to save money, save a few quid here and there on supplements, because you are going to end up with very, very substandard products that just aren't doing what you think they are doing. You end up wasting a ton of money. It's false economy. If you have any questions about it, fire away and I will go for it. Who is going to take my virginity today? Francis has got it. Hi, is your book still for sale? Is it broken into calories? I'm wanting meal ideas to get the weight off for Xmas and New Year. Yes, indeed. You can go over to Amazon and you can get hold of the meal planning book over there, and it will break down basically everything you need to know on how we create our meal plans, how we get everything done the way we do it. More of you, loads of you coming in, There seems to be quite a lot of you leaving considering how many of you coming in. What's going on? Am I boring you tonight? Do you not like my top because it's not a UP top? Both of the books, you have the Principles of Muscle Building and you have the Ultimate Performance Meal Planning book. They work phenomenally together synergistically. Both can be found on Amazon, both are best sellers within the fitness range. It essentially breaks down everything that you need to know to kind of be a UPPT at the basic level. It teaches you exactly how we get the transformations out of our client and how we do things. Villy, I was thinking of doing UP Live. Will the price go up before January? Unlikely, no. You know, the whole idea of UP Live was to give people who wouldn't necessarily be able to afford Ultimate Performance products a product that they could afford. The idea was not to, you know, mess around with prices and do this, do that. We put it at a price point that we know everybody can afford. Anyone who wants to get in shape can afford £50 a month. For Ultimate Performance personal training, they certainly can, considering what, you know, it costs less for 3 months of liveUP than it does for a session in some of our gyms. So that's quite a big thing. So no, it won't be going up. We're not like that. We're not trying to grab money off you. We're trying to teach you how to get results properly. That's why it was so low cost in the first place. Francis, thank you, mate. Pleasure taking your V. No problem, Francis. Jaw, what's up? Lots of you coming in. Again. Loads coming in. What are the name of the two books you were saying? Thanks. Iro, they are The Principles of Muscle Building and Ultimate Performance Meal Planning. If you can go anywhere through the UP Fitness main page here that you're watching this on, and you'll see plenty of posts to them, you can hit the link in our bio, and that will take you over to the UP Fitness page. That will also give you a breakdown of the books that are currently out. It's in a series of 4 or 5 that will be coming out. Or you can go straight over to Amazon and type in Ultimate Performance or UP Fitness, and it will also bring up all of the books that we've done, including the ones we did with Joe, the 12-week body transformation, etc. Right, where have we got? We have got Shireen. What's a good way to work out when you feel like crap? Temperature, cold, sore throat. That sounds like you could have a virus, Shireen. If that is the case, my recommendation would not necessarily be to work out intensely. It would be to get outside in the fresh air. Go for a walk, do something light but that's going to circulate blood. Ideally in some kind of cold, fresh air, because germs do not like cold, fresh air. If you were to go in and weight train and cause muscle damage, that's essentially going to deplete some of the substrates you are going to need for your immune system to fight viruses. So when you are really ill, legitimately ill, you're not just being a little bitch about it, you do need to rest. There is a difference between being a little bitch and actually being ill. Don't go in and do an intense weight training if your body is trying to fight an illness. If you're just a bit sniffly, it can sometimes actually make you rather than break you. That fresh blood pumping around your body can help you. Getting your mind moving as well can really help you. So if it's a legit virus and you're really suffering, stay out of the gym, just get outside, get in some fresh air and do something active. If, however, you're just being a little bit of a girl about it, or a little bit of a pansy, then get out, go for a walk. Oh, sorry, get out and actually get to the gym. From a female perspective, is there any supplement that can help with a hormone imbalance, such as estrogen dominance? Yes, CJ, there are many. I would recommend, first and foremost, is either a combination of DIM and calcium D-glucarate, which can both be found on upfitness.com. If you hit the link in my personal bio or the link in our bio, that will take you straight over there. So DIM and calcium D-glucarate, they work very, very well synergistically. One of them allows for xenoestrogens to be released from the body and taken to the liver. The other one reduces the active enzyme that brings those xenoestrogens back into the body, something called beta-glucuronidase. It blocks it. So that will help to get estrogens out of your body. It liberates them from the tissues and helps you to excrete them. DIM and calcium D-glucarate, both can be found on the website. If not that, you've also got Estro Support, which still contains DIM and calcium D-glucarate, just in slightly lower amounts. But it also contains a number of other substances that are going to help detox you, help support your liver, help support various things. So those are your options. Those are the ones that I would go to initially, is Estro Support or a combination of DIM and calcium D-glucarate together. Sam, any chance you can do an oblique crunch video? There seems to be a lot of different ways to do it when looking online, and I'm a bit unsure of which way is correct. Sam, I can. It's not really necessary. Lie down as though you're in a crunch position, as though you're about to do a crunch, okay? So you're lying on your back with your hands there, then simply drop your knees to the side, okay? Your body doesn't change position, your knees just hit the floor on one side. You then carry on crunching. What that does, it puts your body in a rotation, and then that will allow you to do the crunch that way. Steve Smith, could you quickly explain what UP Live is, please? I was looking at signing up for one-to-one, but too expensive for me. You've actually just missed me saying that, Steve, but it is essentially the way to look at it. I'll give you a bit of a history of liveUP. Is the combination of about 9 years of programs that I've written. Every good program, every bad program. I sat down for 3 weeks one Christmas, about 3.5, 4 years ago now, about 3 years ago, and I took all of the good parts, all of the bad parts, and figured out how to create the perfect program. A program that would work for everyone. A program that solved all of the other problems that other programs cause, the emotional issues, the cravings, the fatigue issues, etc. I put them all together in one program that is the most likely program to get a result out of everyone. Now, there are a lot of programs like this on the internet, but none that are anywhere near as effective. So that is the baseline. It covers your diet, it covers your training, it covers your nutrition, it covers everything you need to know. The difference between ours and everybody else's is not only the fact that it is thorough and it is based on results. It's based on 9 years of results coming from my clients, my personal clients. It also you get a check-in with me personally or one of the team every single Monday. Every single Monday, you contact me with your photos, with what you've done that week, with your feedback, and then I give you changes. I say, this is what I need you to tweak in order to make your results happen faster and to really fine tune that end result. So there is no other program that I'm aware of in the world that A, is at such an effective starting point, but B, also has the attention that we give you on liveUP, considering it's a £50 per month program. Now, again, I know there's a lot of the folks from liveUP in here, both in the men's group and the female group. They will attest to it. It's not me just selling something. I genuinely put a lot of effort into making sure this is the best program in the world, so you are in good hands. liveUP team, feel free to chime in here. This is where I need you. Right. Can you recommend the best app to record steps or a reasonable price watch? Honestly, Ellis, my phone does it because it's in my pocket or my hand all of the time because I'm answering so many emails or forum posts from the liveUP group. That's pretty damn accurate. Or you can just get a pedometer. Get yourself a pedometer from Amazon that's $9.99. Everyone's getting these watches and this and that and the other. You can get a pedometer for $9.99. You just stick it in your pocket or strap it to your waist belt, whatever, and it's measuring everything you do all day. So don't stress too much about big expenses. Michael J. Wood. How long do you think you should warm up when it's cold in the winter? How do you rate warming up? What would you do personally? Michael J. Wood PT. If you go to my YouTube channel, that's Elliot Upton. My name, Elliot, is spelled with 2 L's and 2 T's. So YouTube, Elliot Upton. I've actually loaded up a warm-up video on there that I like to do myself and I do with my clients before every single session. It tells you exactly what I do, how to do it, and why. Kel, hi love. The weekly lives really been helpful. Awesome, Kel. I'm glad to hear that. They were here to be helpful. You know, I wanted to try and introduce them last January. I said I would do at least once a week, which I've managed to do so far. I have a 100% clean record. It was basically just to try and help you folks see through some of the bullshit in the industry. And a lot of people, and it's coming up, this is the calm before the storm, a lot of people are about to start selling you a load of shit that's absolute rubbish. So I will still be here to try and help you see through that. Natasha, hello. Nicola Bo Yates. Hey, I've just started getting visible abs. How often do I need to train abs? Getting visible abs is not necessarily because of your abs, it's because of your diet. If you need to train them, potentially your abs are quite a complex muscle group. You can get away with training them 3 times a week, maybe 2 to 3 exercises. Kel, any advice on training when suffering from pain, tenderness in the knee and around the knee? First things first, I would ask you to address the actual issue, what's causing it. Is it hip tightness? Is it ankle issues? Is it tightness around the quad area? You need to figure out what it is before I can give you advice on it. You know, what movements hurt it and specifically where is the pain? Cha. Just finished my 12-week program and I'm ripped with 11% fat. Looks amazing. Planning to work on upper bodybuilding course as my next stages. What do you think? Absolutely, do it. I'm going to Charisuri. Do it. And well done, by the way. What's your take on carb load pre-photo shoot when depleted? Carb up 48 hours, 24 hours out. Any suggestions for right amounts, grams, carbs, kilograms as a rough guide? There is literally no answer to that, in my opinion. I've seen people who are absolutely massive get it very, very wrong. I've seen people who are absolutely tiny get it very, very wrong. I've seen people get it very, very right whilst not even trying. I don't believe there's necessarily an answer to that. I wouldn't say for your average person, unless you're like 110, 120 kilos lean, you're probably not going to need to carb up for 2 days though. If you're an average size guy when you're lean, and let's say you're around 70 to 80 kilos, you're not needing to carb up for 2 days. Highly unlikely. You stick it to 24 hours. CJ, you're welcome. Sam, you are also welcome. Kaylee, how does the online program help clients with their form? First and foremost, we have the forum, which I am loading videos into day after day. If something is requested and I have the access at the time to film something, I will film it and put it in there. Alternatively, we also have, as a member of any one of our online training programs, whether that's one-to-one or liveUP, you have access to 402 different exercise videos with explanations, often by Nick Mitchell himself, on our website, upfitness.com. So they are there as a resource constantly. Like I say, that would be your first port of call. Going into that online library, you just search the term that is in your program. It shows you exactly how to execute that movement. If you can't get it in there, you can't get it quite right, or there's something you're unsure of, you put it inside the forum, and myself or one of the other team are going to get straight in there and try and answer that for you as quickly as we can. Obviously, there's a big difference between any kind of online program and a one-to-one training, because there's no physical FaceTime. However, I can promise you that there is no online personal training program on the planet that gives you as much attention as liveUP does. I make sure of it. I put at least 18 hours a day into, and that's 7 days a week, at least 18 hours a day into that program to make sure I can deliver as much as I'm physically capable of delivering. Now, of course, some people may always want more, but that is life. There is no other program on the planet that delivers as much content or value or results as the liveUP program. Doesn't happen. Spio, is lower belly fat the slowest to move, or is that a myth? No, 9 times out of 10 is the slowest to move. What you tend to find is that fat that gathers around your middle and especially your belly is survival fat. It's essentially the fat that is there just in case shit goes down, just in case something goes wrong. So it's going to hang around as much as possible. When you are getting to that stage where you want to try and drop belly fat, you are going to have to put in some serious work. Why? Because your body is going to fight back at you every step of the way. It's really going to put some effort into not letting you drop that fat. So yeah, it's going to be pretty stubborn. Sarah, wishing I'd gotten a meal prep bus earlier. Meal prep's so handy if you can get it. First and foremost, it saves so much time. Secondly, it saves you having to think about it. 3, it saves time again. 4, saves washing up. 5, saves stress. 6, allows you to do more stuff with the rest of your time, which don't underestimate how amazing that is for your brain and your stress levels and actually dealing with the anxiety of dieting and getting in shape. Meal prep, you know, something like EatUP is incredibly valuable. Make sure if you have access to it, then try it. You know, people say, oh yeah, but the cost. Yes, but there are 2 things that are going to happen here. Number 1, the stress is taken off you, so you will get your transformation because you're not slipping up because you couldn't be asked to cook or you were too tired or blah, 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 blah. Number 2, almost guarantee that nearly all of you are going out to Starbucks twice a day. Let's say that's £7 to £8, depending on where you are. You're probably eating out once a day. Let's say that's £15 to £20. That's immediately more than an average day's worth of meal prep costs with nothing else. Yet you've got loads of time involved, you've got inconvenience involved, you've probably got wrong macros involved, you've got the stress of figuring them out, you've got the stress of making it taste good, blah, 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 blah. Meal prep is phenomenal if you can do it. So please try it. I will put the link to EatUP, our meal prep service, which is available in certainly London and Manchester, and we've also got it in Hong Kong, etc. That will be in the link in the bio and also the link in the description box over on YouTube. Steve Smith, you're welcome. Liam Gear, considering signing up to one-to-one online. With Xmas coming up and there being a 2-week period of parties, dinners, would it be better to start after this so nothing interrupts the program? Liam, no, I would suggest if you strike while the iron's hot. 2 reasons. Number 1, A, you've got enough time between now and Christmas. B, if you are lean before Christmas, like if you are lean before Christmas, you can get away with a whole load more at Christmas, okay? You can eat a load more Christmassy kind of food, and it's essentially going to be used to build muscle as opposed to store fat. However, if you are not lean as you get into Christmas, you are much more likely to store that food as fat, which is going to make your journey on the other side far harder. I would recommend trying to get a head start and getting in there early now if you can. YK, liveUP does work. It's been so good and I was no good in the gym. Awesome, love that. Danny Wade, totally backed the plan. Went from 91.7 kilos to 80.3. Amazing culture developed by the guys and the people in the forum. Yes, Danny, loving that. That's a smashing amount of weight. Best part of 12 kilos. That's madness. Andrew Willett, just go for it. liveUP is amazing. Could it be any better than this, folks? Check it out. Would you recommend when consistent fatigue if training, hard weight training 3 times per week? If you're consistently fatigued, you absolutely do need to reassess A, the volume that you are training, and B, the frequency, yes. So if, you know, you have to listen to your body. If something is going on, you need to, you know, assess and address, as I quite like to say, is if you're always fatigued, you are unable to recover, something is amiss. The same applies if you always need stimulants, if you can't sleep properly, if you find you always need a pre-workout. Something is going on there that you need to address as quickly as possible. So do remember that. So yeah, absolutely back off if you're finding yourself constantly smashed up. Michael J. Wood, cheers, bruh. No problem. For weight loss, what's more important, diet or gym? 100% diet. Anyway, checked in at UP Manchester Saturday and it was superb. Great team there. They are a wicked team. I've got so much time for the guys down at UP Manchester, Mark and his girls and guys. I came in at 11.3%. I know it's a generic question, but how long would you think until I could hit sub 10? Depends, you know. What you've got to remember at that kind of body fat level is your body's going to start pushing back harder and harder. There's no reason that you can't be there in between 2 weeks and a month, but it depends how hard you're pushing it, you know, because it's difficult. And you're going to start to feel a bit ropey at those levels of body fat, you know. Your body doesn't necessarily like to be down there. It takes effort. It takes effort to get there. It takes effort to sustain. So it's how long is a piece of string based on your genetics, but 2 weeks to a month I think would be a nice target. Quickest way to lose body fat diet-wise, simplest answer to that question is make sure that you are in a calorie deficit. Not a massive calorie deficit, but a calorie deficit. That means eating less calories than you are burning more calories than you are eating, or eating less calories than you are burning. Michael, Elliot, could you repeat the name of your YouTube channel? Yes, it's Elliot Upton. It's my name. E-L-L-I-O-T-T Upton, and there's a lot of videos regarding the liveUP plan. There's a liveUP plan walkthrough. There's also a warm-up plan there. There's a few other little bits and bobs, little rants. There's some informational stuff. I also put all of the live feeds up there. So every live feed that I've managed to record, depending on I've got this camera here, that always goes up there as well, so you can check them out. Natasha, fasting, no, fasting is not an intelligent way to lose body fat, in my opinion. Sam Proctor, great. Started getting pain in the right knee when squatting. It feels normal day to day. Tight IT band, possibly tight IT band, tight lateral quad, so vastus lateralis. Also potentially slightly underactive VMO. Depends on the site of pain. Whether it's internal, external, whether it's around the patella, it could be one of anything. If you can give me a little bit more of a pinpoint on where that is, I should be able to advise a little bit better. So would you do the same warm-up regardless of temperature? Pretty much. I'd just make sure I was sweating before I started moving. You know, I'd want to feel that I was mobile. I'd want to feel that my tissues were moving, that they were limber. Obviously, if it's minus 27.5 degrees and you're in shorts and t-shirt, I wouldn't recommend weight training outside. Hi M, hi Elaine, Lisa Marie Tolley. The meat in the EatUP meals, is it organic, grass-fed? You would have to ask the team there. I would imagine so, but you'd have to ask the team. So go over to @EatUP and send a message there and they will be able to answer you. I've just signed up to UP Live last week, currently sitting at 17% body fat. Do you think I could get close to 12% if sticking to the plan 100%? Absolutely yes, 100% you could. BV Fitness, what's up? Lipstick, shout out to Ryan PT. Ryan, you're awesome! I don't know who Ryan is. Angel Light 101. Hello, Angel Light. Danny Wade, top man. Thanks, Elliot. Keep this up, mate. Couldn't recommend it enough. Thank you, Danny, and thank you for being an ambassador for it. Thank you for putting the effort in, and thank you for, you know, ultimately, no program is any good if the client isn't doing it. So thank you for getting involved in that. Michael, no problem. Angel, have you heard of the Cambridge diet? I've heard of it, but I don't know enough about it. The reality of it is there's so many diets out there. Ultimately, it is about a calorie restriction. Everyone is trying to sell you some gimmick, and this is why, as I said, I started these live feeds. Everyone's trying to sell you something with a fancy name or a bit of good marketing. It's all bollocks. It's about a calorie deficit. Simple as that. Lauren, you are my gym god. Awesome, thank you. I do try. It's under the patella. Under the patella, so you may have some kind of patella tendonitis. I would highly recommend making sure you roll both the internal borders, external borders of your quads, so vastus lateralis, vastus medialis. Also spend a lot of time stretching and rolling out your rectus femoris, so the muscle straight down the middle, basically from the hip to about 2/3 of the way down the middle of the quad. Get that loosened up big time, and that should help. It will also potentially help if you can you'll be able to use your finger just to release your tibialis anterior as well, which is sitting on the outer side of your shin. Right, UP Fitness Amsterdam. Love training, 12 kilos today. That's awesome, Lipstick. Mega. Well done you, and well done Ryan. Billy, do you advocate mind-muscle connection and slowing down reps more than going heavy and fair with strict form? When I go heavy with chest, for example, I feel it in my shoulders as much as chest. 100% yes, I do. I'm exactly the same. Put it this way, so I can bench press 140 for 5 quite easily, but the next day my shoulders are ruined and I can't feel my chest. However, if I drop down to 100 and do 8, but I can squeeze it like crazy, I feel my chest the next day. So yes, 100% connect with the muscle. Of course, you need an adequate amount of load to force some kind of adaptation, but make sure you can squeeze. This is especially true for me with arms. Now, again, today I actually went into a commercial gym, not one of our own, and I've started getting little niggly pains because I've gone through loads of injuries over the last few years, and I've rehabbed them. I've spent a good 3 or 4 months barely training this year, rehabbed my leg, done all sorts of stuff, started to get strong again, and I was in the gym last week curling 24 kilo dumbbells, and I could get them up no problem, and all I could feel was pain. I couldn't feel my biceps firing, I couldn't feel anything apart from pain, even though they were coming up nice and easy, and I just thought, hang on a minute, I've got to back off. So I've then today gone into this commercial gym. It was a bloody mess, but 12 kilos I was doing bicep curls with the same exercise, doing curls with 12 kilos in each hand, and the burn was absolutely savage. Why? Because I'd taken it back to basics and I just started squeezing the muscle again. Obviously there still has to be weight there to force adaptation, but you need to find the relationship between the two in order to get things right. If you can get there, then you're going to get best results. But it is easy to get carried away with overall load as well, so just be careful of that. Where are we? Billy Fairley. What if you have a small appetite and can't manage the amount of food required to bulk up and build muscle? Number one, you have to kind of force yourself potentially initially to eat a little bit more, because it's going to elevate your metabolism over a period of probably 7 to 10 days. You'll start to get hungry anyway because your body's realizing it's nourished and things start to work better. So you may have to force it in initially. If not, you know, I would recommend you get as much solid food in as possible, and then you can kind of cheat a little bit with things like fats, olive oil dressings, peanut butter, stuff like that can be really useful. I need to lose 3 stone. I just feel lost in it all, desperate to lose it, and I tend to yo-yo and get nowhere. Angel, then hit the link in our bio and join the girls on the liveUP plan. It's not about weight. Weight is irrelevant. Weight doesn't matter for shit. Get that out of your head. It's about what you see in the mirror and eventually what you feel. We don't actually ask the girls to weigh themselves on the liveUP program. They weigh themselves the first day just to give me a baseline, and then after that I actually ban them from weighing themselves. They're not allowed to because it's irrelevant. But get on the plan and you will see the effectiveness. You know, 3 stone is irrelevant, but if it was a weight measure, providing you're compliant and you really want it, you could drop that very quickly. Lisa Marie, when is the best time to take choconutrients and what do you recommend mixing it with? Choconutrients is amazing. For me, it's one of those things that I say to my clients to have if they're really craving. Just to add in if they're struggling, they've got a sweet tooth, etc., because it's got such an amazing rich chocolatey taste. For those of you who don't know, choconutrients are greens fiber powder. Very good for digestive health, hormonal health, rebalancing hormones, etc. Kind of leveling estrogen levels. It's a fiber supplement, very useful. But it's got an amazing rich chocolate taste. It can also be sprinkled on, I've sprinkled it on protein pancakes, I've sprinkled it on oats, I've sprinkled it on fruit before. So there's a million different uses for it. You can put it with avocado and baking powder and turn it into chocolate brownies. There's a million different things you can do with it. But I tend to tell my clients to use it when they are really struggling and they need something sweet. Also, if you have 5 weight days a week, is it more beneficial to take 2 consecutive rest days or spread them? 5 days a week, for me it's a little bit much. There's not many people I would recommend recover well enough for a 5-day week. However, the only thing I would say is try not to train more than 2 days in a row. I wouldn't be necessarily training 3 days in a row unless you're very good with your recovery, you're extremely good with your sleep, you're extremely good with your food. Kaylee, you're welcome. How often do you think I'd need to go to the gym per week to drop weight and tone? What we do on the liveUP plan is we ask them to go to the gym 3 times per week and do other bits of activity outside. Now, there can be some interval training in there which can be done at home. You can do burpees, you can do various other little bits of circuit training, but that's only maybe 10-20 minutes maximum. So there's 3 hours a week in the gym. The rest of it is general activity steps throughout the day. You know, use stairs rather than lifts, etc. Stufa, hello again. What's up? Look at that, run out of questions. We're exactly at the halfway point and we have run out of questions. I am on fire tonight. Let's keep them coming. Yeah, liveUP, I'll actually do a video. I think there's a lot of you who ask a bit more about what liveUP is, and I think the best bet for me is probably to sit down and do a proper video explaining it from start to finish, what it is, how many training days, roughly how it's set out, obviously without giving too much away, because I know there's a lot of personal trainers out there who want to steal it, but I'll give you a better idea, and make sure you keep an eye out on my profile for that. I'll put a link to it in my stories and on my actual profile, so you can go and check it out on the YouTube channel. But of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, so you'll see it. You'll get an email as soon as I put something up. Sarah, only at the very start of my journey, but lost 10 kilograms so far. That's amazing, Sarah, and especially considering you had a bit of a wobble. But again, I do not care about weight. I don't give a crap about what you are weighing, and you shouldn't either. Deckers, just bust my big toe, so would you recommend doing one leg stuff? Not necessarily. If you've bust your big toe, as long as you can keep your toe off it, you know, you can still do leg pressing, you can do various kind of movements like that. Just take your foot off the plate, you know, drive through the heels. It can potentially be quite good for you. Spio, cheers, roll on 12%, no problem. Are you gluten intolerant? I don't believe I am, but potentially, you know, gluten's one of those things that seems to damage a lot of people's guts. I'm not sure that I am specifically. I've never shown up. I've had 2 allergy tests. I've never ever shown up to be intolerant to gluten. And I'm also not really a bandwagon jumper. When I see a bandwagon go past, I choose not to jump on it like every other tool on the planet. However, it's a very, very common irritant. And is it a good decision to maybe stay away from it? Why not? It can't do any harm, can it? So how do I join? I don't know anything about it. You go to upfitness.com. Go to the website, upfitness.com. You can also get there by hitting the link in our bio. And you hit the tab in the top left-hand side of the website. Underneath that, you'll see a tab that says online training. When you go to online training, you will see liveUP for women. Click on that, and that tells you everything about it and shows you how to purchase it. If someone can only train for around 35 to 40 minutes at a time, would you then allow more sessions per week to make sure there's enough weekly volume? Not necessarily. I mean, if you can do 3 to 4 sessions at 35 minutes and you can hit it really, really hard, then that's really, really good. So that's enough. Billy, what are your thoughts on 10 by 10 GVT? GVT, if you are recovering, if you are getting enough soft tissue work, as long as you're moving well and you're paying attention to moving well, it's an incredibly, incredibly effective program for putting on slabs of muscle enormously quickly. So it's a very, very good program. But make sure you're eating enough calories is number 1. Number 2 is make sure you're getting regular massages, or you are spending a lot of time foam rolling, stretching and mobilizing, especially through your shoulders, because it can be quite aggressive on the smaller joints. HJ Hawkins, what's up? One Slim Jim 68, what's up? What are your thoughts on liquid diets in general? They are the devil. Stay away from them. They will ruin your life 100%. Do not, under any circumstances, do liquid diets. That's my opinion on liquid diets. Unfortunately, there's a lot of other things that I want to say on that subject. However, I will likely be sued if I do, so I'm not going to. I struggle with leg raises and crunches due to surgery just over a year ago. Do you have any suggestions on alternatives? It depends on how you struggle. What was the surgery and why you struggle? You know, if you struggle because it hurts your wrist, then that's a different thing to it struggles because you've had your abdominal wall cut open. Give me a bit of an idea there. Lisa Marie Tolley, gloves versus wrist straps. Also, what brands do you recommend? Gloves, I've got no issue with you girls wearing them. Guys, if you wear gloves, I will laugh at you and I will point at you. You shouldn't be wearing gloves in the gym, guys. This is not a macho thing. It's the heavier you get with weights, the more you need to be able to feel what that weight is doing in your hand. You have to be sensitive to it. If you're wearing gloves, you tend to lose that sensitivity. With regards to straps, absolutely use them. Unless you're specifically trying to train your grip, in which case do something like a farmer's walk, blah, 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 blah. Use straps. If you're deadlifting, use straps. There is no point in having your wrist be the limiting factor on something like a deadlift, which you're trying to train your whole body, and metabolically, you're trying to cost yourself a lot of calories. If you are choosing not to use straps and therefore lifting 30% less than you should be, kind of pointless. Abdominal wall cut open was a surgery. If it's causing you a lot of aggro, you may have to stay away from it. Try stability stuff, planks, dynamic plank movements, rotations, things like that, and also massage the scar tissue. I have a big scar across my lower abdomen, and it took about 3 years before I could start training abs or lift heavy again because of the intra-abdominal pressure. I couldn't actually squat or deadlift above about 80 kilos without feeling like my stomach was going to burst. But loads and loads and loads of massage to get the scar tissue to break down a bit. What would you recommend for abs training, exercises and frequency? I'm pretty skinny but don't often train abs directly. If you're pretty skinny, eat some food, otherwise you're not going to build muscle anyway. With regards to ab training, because they're such a big muscle, they're postural, so they're relatively fatigue resistant. They have a lot of functions. They flex, they extend, they rotate. You can train them slightly more frequently. So I'd say maybe pick 2 exercises, do 2 or 3 sets 3 times a week. It's enough. Stufa, you back on DHEA again. It's illegal still in this country, so unfortunately I've found out that I can't really do a video on it in case we're seen to be promoting it. So you are probably better off asking, even potentially putting a question on Nick's post to ask him about it, and he will have a slightly better way of putting things across to me. Can I have a protein shake for breakfast as I don't have time to make any? You don't have time, or you choose not to have time? What are you doing in the morning that stops you having time? Or what are you doing in the evening that stops you from making your breakfast early? Castor oil is amazing for scar tissue. There you go. We're talking about specifically not necessarily visual scars, more about the scarring of the muscle itself, which needs to be broken down in order for the muscle to move correctly. But yes, castor oil is amazing for scars. I've got scars all over my upper body and a few on my lower body, so every little helps, right? Every little helps. Come on, folks, running out of questions. You all asleep tonight? I've got 46 of you in there. Let's get on with it. Has anyone had a guess? Has anyone been following the rest of the UP team and can figure out where this other gym is that we've been sniffing around recently? Rosa, welcome back. I never wear a belt when I squat and deadlift. Is it a big mistake? I squat and deadlift quite heavy as well. No, not necessarily. Not a massive issue. Can it be helpful? Yes, because it gives you something to push against. Is it absolutely necessary? No, it is not. That ban crept up out of the blue. It's been banned for years. Years in the UK. It can be prescribed, but it's been banned for years in the UK. Having to work day and night on the gritter. I ate 100 grams of oats porridge and 4 eggs for breakfast. Awesome, big breakfast. I've lost motivation recently. How do you keep focused? You remember why you're doing it. You know, what is your goal first and foremost? Write your goal down here so I know. I know they prescribe it. A lot of doctors prescribe it, DHEA in the United States, Stufa. Rosa. So, need a quick move on the breakfast. Yeah, Jack. Yeah, but having to work day and night on the gritter, but how many hours a day are you working to not be able to cook a meal at some point during the day to have for breakfast? That's another one of these classics. Do you know how many clients in the last, let's say, 10 to 12 years that have said I don't have time when they have an easy 12 hours a day? One of them. You know, this is one of those things. I'm sorry to be a bit harsh about it, but I've got zero tolerance for people who say, I don't have time. I don't have time. You have time. You just choose to do something else with that time. There is a huge difference. You know, I work my tits off and I still find time to do certain stuff. I work probably 18 hours a day. I don't work as hard as Nick. As much as I try and try and try, I'm not as productive as Nick is. Nick doesn't have time, but he still finds the time to do all the stuff that most of you don't have time to do. It's a matter of perception, nothing more. You have the time. Tips for vegans to build muscle: eat meat. BCA supplementation, it can be helpful. You're going to need to spend a little bit of time getting your calorie and your macro balances right, which can be very, very difficult. Remember to supplement with vitamin B, remember to supplement with iron. You're likely to be deficient in a few things, potentially creatine, carnitine can be useful as well for energy levels. And just make sure you get the calories in. Calories, calories, calories. And you just got to, it's also very, very much worth keeping your meal frequency quite high, because if you're not eating very regularly, because a lot of your protein sources are also high carb sources. You can fluctuate insulin quite badly, and that can cause issues with muscle building and can cause issue with unwanted fat gain. There's quite a few aspects to that. It's why it's very, very difficult to get in shape as a vegan unless you're super compliant and you're really, really thinking about it. So it's a challenge, not impossible, but it's a challenge. Just make sure you're trying to get those little points right. Ben, what's up? Oliver, hello. I read the programs in the book of UP. Eccentric phase always longer than concentric phase, but it seems more easier. Is longer time concentric phase more effective on building muscles? No, absolutely not. What you want to do, the concentric phase, when the muscle is shortening under tension, you should be doing that explosively. If you do that explosively, it's going to innervate more what we call fast twitch muscle fibers, and that's actually going to make you stronger. The eccentric load, which is the lowering and lengthening phase of a lift, that is what's going to kind of damage the muscle tissue, cause more micro tears in the muscle tissue, causing it to grow. So in order to get that right, the perfect combination is to lift quickly on the concentric phase, because that's going to make you stronger, and to drop slowly on the eccentric phase, because that's going to damage muscle tissue and get a greater metabolic cost and greater muscle building. Obviously, the stronger you get, the more load you can use on the eccentric over time. So it's the perfect combination. Jonesy, lots of people are starting to use cuffs for chest cable flies. Is there much benefit to this compared to use normal cable attachment? There will be a few with regards to, you know, not flexing the biceps, not flexing the forearms, not doing the extra little bits to cheat, blah, blah, blah. There are absolutely a few benefits, but it's just another bloody overcomplication because of social media and everybody trying to be complicated and smart and do something slightly new because it's awesome. Oh, look how different I am. We've been doing pectoral flies with handles on cable machines for 50 years. It's not caused anyone any problems. Just use handles, whatever. It's gimmicks. It's another gimmick. This bloody industry is full of them. Everyone's trying to make a statement and something to do. Yes, there may be a 2% difference in muscle activation or muscle recruitment by using wrist straps, but is it necessary? No. Is it a gimmick and fun and good for social media? Yes. I meant, is the new UP in Holland? Ah, okay. No, actually, it's in the United States. Guess the city. Jackson Joe, okay, I get your point. Good. Cares. Sorry to be harsh, but it's just one of those things. You know, one of the things I tell a lot of the clients to do is that if you are, whatever you're cooking for dinner, obviously it should be meat-based. If you're trying to get in shape, you want high protein, just cook a little bit more and have the rest of it for breakfast in the morning. Mentally strong, in a caloric deficit and not losing weight. Should I go low with calories or maybe add more calories? If you're definitely in a deficit and you're not dropping body fat, then you may have gone too far into a deficit. So yeah, you might want to start drifting them up a bit. Warren, if you work a lot of night shifts, should you eat lower calories due to the fact that you eat at the wrong times or don't sleep as much? No, potentially more, for two reasons. Number one, your body is going to be highly stressed out. You know, cortisol is going to be trying to break down muscle tissue. Potentially, you're going to be awake for longer hours, and there's a million different things that are going on there that aren't ideal. So I'd actually say more rather than less. How much water should I drink daily? For females, 3 to 4 litres. For males, 4 to 6 litres. Every single day. Tasha, hello. Lisa Marie Tolley, I've just seen Barry's gym is opening up almost next door to UP Manchester, assuming it's not direct competition as it's a different kind of workout. What's your opinion on Barry's style of training? Just a fad. Listen, I've got to be careful what I say at situations like this because obviously we can be sued. It's not for me. Again, it's just a typical fitness industry thing. It's trendy, it's been in the right magazines, it's had the right people doing it. Is it results-based? No, it is not. UP, Ultimate Performance, is still the only results-based gym on the planet. You know, there are a million little gyms who have turned up that are copying our concept, which is fine because it's brought the standard of the whole industry up. But ultimately, you people have to understand where you're putting your money. Are you giving someone money to make you sweat, which you could do by yourself? Yeah, it's fun, it's in a group exercise, blah, blah, blah. Are you giving them money because it's cool and trendy, or are you be giving them money because it works? This is what you need to differentiate. So good luck to them, you know. I'm sure they're going to be nice and busy because it is a gimmick, it's popular, it's well known, they've been branded very, very well, but, you know, ultimately, what we do is unique. We are the only people in the world who can do what we do, definitely to the level that we do it. We've taught an awful lot of people how to do it, but still no one can do it like UP. So we're pretty safe in where we are. Hey again, Tasha. HRV Rose. Hi, Jackson Joe. What's the best way to do weight training without getting bigger, just stronger? Low reps, Jackson Joe. Chest anywhere between, say, 1 and 4 reps. Is loading phase creatine on a high rate just a gimmick to sell more? I believe it is, yes. I wouldn't necessarily say you have to do it. Charles, rest his soul, said that you did. A few people have done, but I'm not so sure. What tends to happen when you do that is it's more likely to cause you a few gastric issues, some gut issues. So is it worth it? Probably not. I would just say for most of you out there, take 5 grams post-workout or first thing in the morning every single day, and that should be enough for you. For the past few weeks, I've changed my sleeping pattern. I'm in bed by 9 PM and I'm training at 4:30 AM before work because I prefer working out early in the mornings. Does this have an impact on energy levels? It should, if you're doing that properly. It should be making you more energetic. Your body loves early nights, early mornings. That's how your body likes to work. Plus, you can be incredibly productive when you're getting up at that time of day, and everything else happens better. So it should be doing you a lot of good. Supplements for women age 46, hormones all over the place. If you're perimenopausal, there's a million different things you should have. First and foremost, you know, have something to try and level your estrogens out. So estro support can be useful, but again, eventually your estrogen is going to drop out completely. So you may not necessarily want to stay on that long term, but we'll see. Certainly, magnesium. Magnesium can have a massive effect on your hot flushes. It can have a massive effect on anxiety. It can really help improve your sleep quality, which can also take a bit of a hit around menopause. So those would be my top 2, shall we say. I would certainly go for magnesium, and I would go for estro support if you're in the early stages. Tried amplifiers, recommended fab stuff. Totally feel like I have more energy. Love that, Ash. It is amazing. I'm all about the lemon and lime flavour, but I make sure I have at least 2 scoops with every single training session. Any tips on dealing with adrenal fatigue whilst trying to get fit? Yes, make sure you are recovering. Make sure you're looking after your recovery. Make sure you're sleeping early. Make sure you are keeping your rep ranges low and you're not taxing yourself too much during the training sessions. You're allowing for adequate recovery. Do not, under any circumstances, drink coffee or any stimulants, and make sure you have an adequate amount of carbohydrates in your diet. Is flavoured water a bad idea? It's not a bad idea, providing it's flavoured with fruit that you put in it. You should put a gym out in Helsinki, Finland. Yanni, I can't tell you whether I've spent a bit of time in Finland. Is there a market for us there? A big enough one? Maybe, maybe not. Any advice on how to help yourself if you can't afford to join? Not really, no. If you can't afford £50 per month to change your life and get fit, then my suggestion is that you probably don't want to change your life and get fit that much. £50 per month is nothing for what you get out of this program. I have almost no doubt that you spend more than that on coffees and alcohol or alcohol in a month. So Jackson, no problem. Cares, no problem. Have you started vlogging yet? No, Lisa, I haven't had time. I've had a lot of stuff going on. I've recently started a big online survey for all of our online personal training clients to try and make sure everybody is getting everything they need out of the UP product. Everyone is happy. Everyone is happy with their trainers. Everyone is happy with their programs and their programming and are getting results. Now, in its early stages, that's cost me many hours because I'm getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails a week that I try to respond to and action change on. So once that's settled down a bit, which it will, then I will be getting on the vlogging because I'll be doing something slightly more interesting than sitting at a desk. Is it better to go into failure with reps, or is it better stopping when you can't keep correct form? The latter. Stop when you can't keep correct form. If you are a very advanced lifter, your recovery is correct and you're structurally very balanced and sound, then you can go to failure. But again, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it on every set, maybe on the last set of each exercise and not every session. Nurturing touch, you're welcome. Boski, I prefer taking apple cider vinegar neat twice a day rather than diluting it as recommended on the package. Do you think this is okay? Might be a little bit too acidic, but it depends how good your gut is. I used to do that, but what I found is that about 10 minutes after, I would get raging headaches. And my headaches would be absolutely appalling, and I had a massive issue. And that's obviously some response. It's hit my gut. My gut's had a bad response to it. It's sent the wrong messages to my brain, and then something's gone on. So if it causes you no problems, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Just watch the state of your gut, because it may cause issues. Who knows? What is the right amount of recovery between reps? You probably mean between sets, and that depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get stronger specifically, or if you're trying to build muscle specifically, or if you're trying to burn fat. If you're trying to get stronger, anywhere between 3 and 8 minutes between sets. If you are trying to build muscle and kind of get stronger as a byproduct, I would recommend that you do about 2 to 3 minutes. If you are trying to burn fat, you're probably going to want to shorten that to 1 to 2 minutes. Tasha, not sure you can help. I've come off tablets and have a side effect of retaining water and weight gain. In a month, I've put on a stone. Is this even possible when my diet hasn't been bad? Tasha, I'm assuming you mean the pill, right? Then yes, it is very common, because your body is now going to be producing a load of estrogen to try and rebalance progesterone levels and bring everything around, and that's potentially going to fluctuate for some time. For some of you out there who respond well, it could be a month. For others, it can take up to a year to normalize again. You know, the pill can be very damaging for many reasons. That elevation in estrogen is causing you to be to hold quite a lot of water. What I would recommend is to take something like estro support, or up your greens intake and up your water intake, and it will help your body manage that. It will balance itself out eventually. Have faith. It's just a hormonal side effect, but it almost always happens when somebody comes off the pill. Oliver, I work out 4 to 5 days a week, and how often should I use a foam roller? 7 days a week, twice a day. Should I do it after each workout finished, and is it best way to avoid fasciitis? You should literally, I would recommend doing it before and after every workout, and if you've got nothing to do and you're sitting in your living room of an evening, then to do it then as well. It's going to do you nothing but good. It's going to help you move better. It's going to help you lift better. It's going to help you lift a lot stronger. What you have to bear in mind is that when you're lifting, whatever the movement is, you know, let's use a squat as an example. There are two opposing forces. There is your force pushing upwards, and there is gravity's force and the load pushing downwards, right? The idea is that you beat gravity and that load, okay? You're essentially playing a tug of war. If your muscles are not loose and limber and in good condition, they themselves are playing a tug of war around your joint. While you're trying to push up, a tight muscle is trying to pull you down. It's going to make you weaker. The better your muscles move around a joint, the better you are going to lift, the stronger you are going to become. So for all of you out there who want to lift big weights, make sure you are moving well. If there isn't a UP gym close to me, if there isn't a UP gym close to you, that doesn't matter, because you can do online training with us, and you can do one-to-one online with any one of our trainers around the world, or you can do the liveUP program, which is a forum-based program that I oversee day to day. Would you put a gym in Lincoln? I don't know. It may be something that comes in the future. Jan, is there coming a new book in the future? I have the Building Muscle. The Principles of Muscle Building, Jan, that's out. We've also released one since then, which is Ultimate Performance Meal Planning. So you can go to Amazon and you can search in UP Fitness Meal Planning, and you can buy that one. We also have a vegan book, we have a female-only book, and we have a supplements book, all in the pipeline. They are going to be released sometime within the next year or two, so keep an eye out for them to check the whole series. We've got so many things going on inside UP right now. What's happening inside this business is absolutely astonishing. The stuff that we're trying to put together to provide you with, some of it for free. We've got PT courses coming out, we've got seminars coming out, we've got books coming out, we've got programs coming out, all sorts of things going on. So lots of stuff coming, but it is going to be trickled out steadily. Kaylee, always appreciate your advice. Thank you. No problem, and you are welcome. Any smoothie suggestions, and as a meal, i.e. breakfast or snack? Tracy, I'd highly recommend against using liquid food completely. Eat the real food. If you want results and you want your body to work well and feel great, eat the food, don't drink it. Luke Matthews, yeah, I think I answered that question. If there isn't a UP gym close to me, does the online training still give you the results? It absolutely does. Obviously, you need to be self-motivated, but absolutely, we get some incredible results from the online programs. What do you recommend for low progesterone levels? Low progesterone levels? How do you know you've got low progesterone levels? Have you had these tested? Tasha, thank you so much. No problem. You're welcome. Kez, I'm training 3 times a week. Good for you. Your thoughts about abs training, frequency, exercise suggestions. This is the 3rd time today. Train them 3 times a week because they are varied muscle group, and train them in different exercises. Let's say 2 exercises per session, 3 times per week. Stufa, do you believe in foam rolling, or some people say it's a waste of time? I believe in it, 100%. 100%. I move better when I do it. Okay, sorry, a bit rubbish at sending a message. Yeah, I agree, because I don't know what you're saying. I keep seeing a message, then 10 messages later, another half of a message. I'm not really sure what you're saying. Rosa, any exercise tips for rear delts? Yes, rear delt flies are great. Fixed rear delt flies are great. Heavy rows are great. I seem to get good definition of my shoulders overall, but I don't seem to develop those rear delts. All of the above. Rear delt flies, cable rear delt flies, rear delt fly variations of any kind, and heavy rows, wide grip barbell rows, wide grip cable rows. Tons and tons and tons. Water retention. Kez, please, please, please put your question in one line, because I've got no idea what you're saying. Can you tell me a bit more about the seminars? Definitely coming to the Manchester one. I can when they are fully confirmed. We're just going through some bits now. I've outlined the seminar content, but I need to get Nick's approval to actually hold it. So that will be something that's coming up. Once he gives me the go-ahead, I will look into it and try and get it moving. Best exercises for middle body fat. Diet. It's not about exercises for middle body fat. Get your diet right. If it happens, how likely is the UK seminar to be in Manchester? Absolutely 100%. We'll do 1 in London, 1 in Manchester. What is foam rolling, lol? Ash, if you go over to my YouTube channel, look for the warm-up video. So my YouTube channel is Elliot Upton. Look for the warm-up video and you'll see me foam rolling at the very beginning. That is foam rolling. It's basically like giving yourself a massage and working out adhesions and tension in muscles to rebalance the structure a little bit. Rosa, you're welcome. Cares. I get a lot of water and didn't know if I can take supplements to help. Say best thing for that is estro support, because if you're holding water, it could be a side effect of estrogenic toxicity. So go to upfitness.com and get estro support, which is a supplement that's going to help rebalance your hormones, and that will reduce water retention over time. Secondly, make sure you're not eating any inflammatory foods, shitty foods that's going to damage your gut. Also, make sure you're drinking lots of water. If you're drinking lots of water, you shouldn't retain water. How is it the majority of fitness influencers train with such poor form yet look so good, and thoughts on the impact of this on their followers? First question is the fact that they have got amazing genetics. All of these fitness influencers started as 13, 14-year-old kids already looking absolutely epic. They realized, ooh, I'm good at this. They were here at the right time. They've then often added a little bit of steroids to that, and then suddenly they've gone boom. The problem is that the general public, you guys out there, the less aware of you buy into them and you believe the bullshit that they sell, and you make them an awful lot of money, which is highly frustrating. Secondly, the impact on their followers is appalling, because they make out to their followers that if they buy this booty tea, or if they do this, or if they do that, or if they buy this product, whatever it is that they're selling, all this crap that they're trying to sell, they make you think that you can look like them if you buy their products. Okay, they lie to you. There's no two ways about it. There's no better way of putting it. There's no politer way of putting it. They lie to you. Simple as that. Now, it's difficult, you know. We try to provide, as UP, we try to provide as much value. We know we're not constantly trying to sell you something. We're trying to show you how to get the most out of yourself. Unfortunately, too many of you buy into the wrong people. Choose your idols wisely is all I will say. Jenny Stokes, what's up? If losing weight is all down to being in that calorie deficit, how does that explain for those people who can eat as many calories as they want, not exercise and not put any weight? Genetics, Steph. Incredibly, incredibly efficient fuel management systems. It does happen. Their cells are using energy better than ours. It is just that simple. Their digestive systems are absorbing nutrients better than ours. Their muscles are using calories quicker than ours. Hi, UP Fitness. What is the best way of getting rid of belly fat? To diet correctly, Jenny Stokes. The best way to get rid of belly fat, if you don't know how to diet correctly, is to do personal training in one of our gyms, is to do online training, or it is to do the liveUP program, which will tell you exactly how to get rid of your belly fat. You are getting better at your questions. Only took about 5 attempts, Kez. Good effort. By next week, you're going to be bang on it. So I'll see you next week. Lisa Marie, can you take estro support if you're on the mini pill, progesterone, early pill? Do you recommend coming off the pill if possible? Personally, this is not a UP judgment, this is my judgment. Yes, I absolutely recommend you come off the pill. Of course, if you get pregnant, you can't sue me. This is not my fault. But unfortunately, synthetic hormones like that cause a massive amount of damage, and long term they're going to have major effects on both your body and to a degree your brain. You know, the psychological mess that estrogen makes of your body, of your brain, you know, the mood swings, the anxiety, the fluctuations, etc., they can cause issues. So I'd recommend, if you can, the sooner you can come off them, the better. Great in-depth answer. You're welcome, Will. No problem. Back on low progesterone. A doctor diagnosed. Any recommendations? Then probably not. I don't know enough about it, but I'll do some reading on that. I have 20 seconds remaining, so any questions that come in the next 15, I will go as quick as I can. Make sure you fly them in. This one's gone super fast tonight. My mouth is so dry, so I need to get a drink. What's the difference between the liveUP program and normal online program of yours? The online one-to-one is specific to you. It's all tailored right in. I've got 3 seconds. Thank you for joining me. This has been UP Fitness. Catch it over on YouTube for a rerun if you need to. Okay, YouTube, that was our live feed on Instagram at UP Fitness Live. Get on over there and give it a follow. Follow the at UP Fitness Live YouTube. Remember, if anything I've mentioned in here, if you want any more information on it, you can put a comment in the box below. I'll also put links to the UP Fitness shop on there, so if there's any supplements, etc. you want to check out, go on there. I will put the link to EatUP down in the description. If I remember, I will do my best based on the meal prep stuff that we were talking about earlier, and anything else that I think may be handy will indeed be in the description box below. So if you liked it, if you thought it provided value, come over and follow at UP Fitness Live. Come and follow me if you're not already. Share it to your Facebook, share it to your Twitter, share it to every possible social media outlet you have, and let's get this movement running. If not, I will see you next week, hopefully live or on YouTube. Get on with the liveUP program, get on with online training. Anything else you need, come and check us out. So I'll see you soon.